So what we have established is that this right here is the intersection symbol right here. This is intersection. We also kind of think of this as the word and. If we're talking about A intersection with B, well, in order to be a part of this newly created set, we have to belong to both A and B. Both sets must contain the element for it to be an element of the intersection of A and B, because this is the overlap. We also have the union symbol. This is union. Some people like to think of this as or. A or B. In order to be part of the union, it's everything in A, everything in B coming together. Or. You're part of this newly created set. If you're part of A or B, you get to be a part of the party. Okay? This is just everything from both sets. They come together to create this new set. All right. So here's our situation. I have decided that a consistent name is a name in which both the first and last names have the same number of letters. And I've declared that an ender is when the first and last name both end in the same letter. So here's the situation we're dealt with. All right, so which of the following names belongs to consistent intersecting ender? Now remember, intersection, this is like the word and. In order to be a part of this newly created set, we have to belong to both consistent and ender. The name part of the intersection, the overlap, has to be a part of both of these things. It needs to be consistent and ender. So we can very quickly check to see if it's ender. Look at the first and last letter. If they're the same thing, then it's ender. Jerry Jones is not ender, so it's not part of this set. Marcus Ross, okay, maybe. Mitchell Wachtel, maybe. Rachel Russell, maybe. Rob Thomas, those end in different letters. Sharon Farrell, those end in different letters. Okay, so we started to see. And it has to belong to both. Since these didn't belong to ender, they can't possibly be a part of the intersection. They also need to be consistent. Both of these things need to be true. In order to be consistent, they have to have the same number of letters. Marcus Ross, those 6 letters, that's 4. Not consistent. Mitchell Wachtel, those both have 7. So this is consistent and ender. Rachel Russell, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 and 6, so that's not consistent. The only one of these names is my own that is consistent and ender. This is the only name that belongs to the intersection. It is true. It is both consistent and ender. All right. Which of the following names belongs to consistent intersecting ender complement? Okay, so intersection again, and both of these things have to be true. So it needs to not be ender. It needs to be part of the complement of ender. It needs to be part of the opposite. So I am going to cross out anything that does have the same last letter. Anything that is part of ender. Marcus Ross, these both end in the same letter. Mitchell Wachtel, those end in the same letter. Rachel Russell, those end in the same letter. Rob Thomas ends in different. Sharon Farrell ends in different. Jerry Jones ends in different. Okay? So these are all part of ender complement. But, okay, so it's true for ender complement, but it also has to be consistent. These need to have the same number of letters. Jerry Jones, these both have 5. Rob Thomas, that's 3 and 6. That doesn't work. Sharon Farrell, those both have 6. So which of the names, Jerry Jones and Sharon Farrell, both belong to consistent intersecting the complement of Ender? Finally, which of the following names belongs to consistent, the complement of consistent, intersecting the complement of Ender? So once again, the intersection, this is and, both of these have to be true. So, we know that Marcus Ross is not part of the complement of Ender. Same last letter, same last letter, same last letter. But it's these 3, once again, that are part of Ender complement. They also need to be a part of the complement of consistency. It needs to have different amounts of letters. Jerry Jones has the same amount of letters. It is consistent. We want it to not be consistent. Rob Thomas, that's inconsistent. Sharon Farrell, they have the same amount of letters. The only one of these that is not consistent and not Ender is Rob Thomas.